You had a story about some fraud that you guys experienced and how it kind of changed the way you guys do business forever.
It absolutely did. So I don't like to admit it, but I was one of three title companies that got scammed by these same people. It was like a $220,000 lot in Lake Washington, I think, Melbourne. We did the normal things we do. Usually we'll send a mobile notary, but this guy was like, hey, I'm going to be in Miami. My wife's going to be with me. I'm going to be at a conference in a hotel. I can get it notarized. And we were like, okay, which was completely normal then. Come to find out, he's fake, his wife's fake, the notary's fake, everybody's fake.
Welcome to the Studio 321 podcast, powered by Brightway, the Steve Trout Agency. We're sitting down with real estate pros, insurance nerds, mortgage masterminds, and local legends who are making moves on the Space Coast. Hosted by the best insurance crew in the 321. At Studio 321, it's all about community, real connections, and sharing a few laughs along the way. Strap in, let's launch into today's episode. Today on the Studio 321 podcast, we're joined by Donna Harris, owner and founder of International Title and Escrow and Title Solutions of Florida. Donna has spent 38 years in the title industry, serving Brevard County and closing transactions across the state of Florida. She's a Brevard County native, and despite traveling all over the world, she'd be the first to tell you she never wants to live anywhere else. Her companies are nationally recognized as top-performing title agents with more than 250 years of combined closing experience.
Holy cow.
And she's deeply focused on fraud prevention, education, and protecting buyers and sellers at the closing table. We're excited to dive into her story and the lessons every buyer, seller, and real estate professional should hear. Welcome, Donna.
Wow, thank you.
How are you?
I'm great. How about you?
Doing good, doing good.
I'm happy to be here.
Let's get started.
I was telling Angela earlier, I was like, I'm really excited about today. I feel like I don't get to see Donna that much anymore.
I know. Isn't that weird? We used to be in a group together,
yeah.
all of us, and you guys aren't in the group anymore, so I don't get to see you on a weekly basis.
I know.
So, yeah.
No, so
nice.
I'm excited to see it. And she was like, well, you saw her at the Brevard Children in Need of. And I was like, yeah, that was last year.
That was last year. Can you believe it? Yeah.
And
time is definitely flying. And talking about flying,
Yes.
You started in this industry when you were 19 years old.
19 years old, yes. So some people know this, some people don't, but Brittany, my daughter, is going to be 38. So we started pretty young with that.
Yeah.
And I needed a career. So I was going to college and I wanted to be a nurse, honestly, OB-GYN nurse. And I was doing the courses and getting ready to apply for that. And they said you have to do 2 or 3, I can't remember now because it's been a long time, but 2 or 3 days of clinicals, not paid. And I was like, oh, no. I have to get paid
money.
every single day. So that made a little shift. And my husband happened to be working with someone that moved up here from South Florida and worked for an attorney. And she was doing title closings. I didn't even know people had real estate closings at that time. And she said, I need an assistant. And I was working 2 jobs and had a baby and all the things. And she said, you are the kind of person that I want. And so I went to work with her, and in 6 months she quit and left me there by myself to work at the attorney's office. And I'm very grateful. I'll even say his name, Mike Minot. I'm very grateful for him. Taught me a lot of stuff. His dad taught me a lot of stuff. And title made sense to me. Yeah. So I just said, this could be a good career. And I knew that all the people that I met around me doing it weren't making, $8 an hour like I was at that time. So I knew that it would be a career maybe that I could stick with. So
who would have thought like just being thrown in a fire would, built to such a big success?
Yeah. It was amazing. It's been amazing. I've been very blessed with it. So I'm excited about that.
So over your 38 years, what's changed the most in title?
Oh, good Lord. So we used to just do closings like normal. Yeah. So I think this is how old I am. We didn't have fax machines. So you would talk to everybody on the telephone. They would sometimes give you figures on the telephone, and you would do your closing statements on a typewriter. And then they would mail you the closing package from the lender with the check in it. And so then when you got it, regular mail, there was no UPS or any of that, regular mail. Then when you got it finally, then you would call everybody and say, okay, now we're going to be ready to close. And what day do you all want to close? And when are you going to do it? And you would do your closing and probations based on that. Didn't get a new approval from the lender. There was not all this CD going out ahead of time. And still closings happened in like 30 to 45 days.
Oh,
so
wow.
I don't know why now we have all this technology and everything can be done right now and we still take 30 to 45 days. And everything has to be done, in a second. So I think that's the biggest thing, and the fraud control or prevention because
was fraud more rampant back then than it is now, or it's easier now because of the technology?
Much easier now because of the technology. Yeah. It's we never even really heard about that kind of fraud until, it's probably been 10 years now with wires and things like that. But prior to that, everybody got a check. Everybody brought a cashier's check. They used to bring personal checks, then they brought cashier's checks. No one faked checks or anything like that. That was just not heard of until, it's been really recent.
Yeah.
Wow.
Unfortunately, but here we are.
No, I mean, they ruin it for everybody, right? I mean, and now.
Yep.
I had a customer that experienced that. Yeah, it was pretty brutal, but good thing that they recovered from it. But yeah, I mean, when my customers said them, they're like, it's on hold right now. And I'm like.
Because they wired their money somewhere?
Yes.
That's the worst feeling ever.
It was pretty intense, but.
Yeah, I mean, like even in our industry, we got to protect ourselves from fraud every day.
Sure.
From our our logins and our passwords, everything. It's like you just have to create so many layers of protection now around everything.
Yeah, and nobody likes it.
And it's so hard to manage it all too.
It's hard to manage it all. And I think, everybody just has to do it because you don't really have a choice.
No.
And it's around every corner. Like they're just waiting there to do the things they think of are incredible.
Yeah.
Could you put that to good use? You could really make a lot of money and not go to jail.
Get a real job.
Exactly.
Yeah, that knowledge somewhere else. But I don't know. They're doing good with it so far. They wouldn't keep doing it.
Yeah.
It's a huge industry.
Yeah.
And they figured out that title companies have the money. And I think people may not have realized that in the beginning because, they would do credit card companies, they would go to banks, they would try to get that information from them. And now they know that you guys have it as well. We have everybody's social, all the information that you need to steal someone's identity, we've got. So they figured that out. And then they figured out we were wiring money and receiving wires. Yeah. And I think then it, big title companies have been hit with fraud, wire fraud and data breaches and things like that. So, and we're tasked with the same requirements as a huge company. I still have to maintain in my little 3 little offices that I have in Brevard County, or else I suffer the same consequences. So, so we're not going to have that.
Oh no!
So we spend a lot of time on that. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Yeah, and you got to protect your clients. You got to protect yourself.
That's right. First the clients,
and like
then
you said,
us.
they're always looking for the next way to get you, and so you got to be one step ahead all the time.
All the time. Yep.
And it's so frustrating as a business owner to have to worry about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's hard enough to be a business owner.
Correct. Exactly.
All the other stuff that goes on, and then this too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Going back, what made you decide to start your own company? Or what led you into owning your own? How did you make that decision and that leap? Because that's a big leap.
It's a huge leap. And I don't have a lot of people in my family that own their own businesses. My mom does now, but that came later in life. So I think the biggest thing, I worked at Chicago Title in Merritt Island, and they would make us keep track of our closings every month. And so you had to write down your closings, what your premium was and all that. And I was like, I know, and I didn't understand expenses, taxes and all those things. But my simple mind said to herself, I am making twice as much money every month for this company that they pay me in an entire year. And I was like, even with expenses, I could still make more money. Yeah. And that's really what the catalyst was at that time. I already had a good base of clients in that company already. And I just, I needed to make more money for my family. And so that's really what did it. And it was scary, but it was a lot of hard times.
Oh yeah.
Put it this way: what you see now is not where I started.
Oh no, absolutely. No, it's so tough. Those early years. A lot of businesses don't make it past 3 years.
That's true. That's true. And I think a lot of people, and I know most business owners who do make it have to do these kind of things. You don't just jump in and all this stuff shows up.
Correct.
You got to pay for all this stuff, and people don't realize that you mortgage your house, you max out your credit cards, do all the things that are required to keep it going because you have that dream and you have a vision and you've already started it and you want to succeed and make it happen, and that's what you do. Yeah, you do whatever it takes.
Yeah, when I first started this company, we were talking about when you walked in today, because you hadn't been in the office in a while.
It was incredible.
It's like we literally had just a shell. Our office was just a shell with desks. There was no walls. There was nothing dividing us. We started from just literally a shell because we couldn't afford to build it out. And then just over time, we just added to it. And now people come in, they're like, holy crap, man, you're killing it in here. You know what I mean? But it didn't happen overnight.
That was so hard. Yeah. And you're just thankful you could make the rent then, probably, and your salaries.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And maybe didn't, because I know the first one that doesn't get paid is us.
Half the time for me. You know what I mean? Like, it was really just, it was survival for sure,
That's right.
But it was the right time in my life, too. Like, I didn't have a lot of overhead personally. you know, me and Diana were just getting started, kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And so,
that's how we were too. We were too dumb to know not to know that this could be a problem.
Correct.
We didn't have anything anyway, so you know.
But when I think back to how hard it was, though, it's like, holy crap, dude.
Yeah.
Give yourself some grace.
Give yourself some credit. Exactly. And then you get there, and then the market crashes. And so then that's when the mortgaging of the house and the credit lines and all the things happen. But then you come back and you pay all that off, and then you know, there you go. So that's been my experience anyway.
I'd like to touch on that, actually. You brought that up. So, because I think that it's a pretty awesome story of resilience, right? Like, you got into the business 38 years ago, and then you're probably rocking and rolling, everything's great, and then the market crashes in, what, 08, 09, and things get extremely difficult, probably, you know, the hardest in my career and probably yours.
Definitely.
And because I was in the mortgage business actually at the time, I didn't survive it. You know what I mean?
It hurt.
I had to start over in insurance basically because of that, which I'm now super thankful for.
Right.
Because I found where I needed to be.
Where you need to be, exactly.
But yeah, let's touch on that. I mean, what is that like going through that, and how did you guys get through it, and what did it take, you know?
Well, it was very difficult. I had to let everybody go in my office except for me, and I had to have one other person because I couldn't be there all the time. So that meant I paid her, and I didn't always pay me. Yeah. So that was hard. We, you know, I hate to admit it, but yes, we had credit line in our house. We paid bills with that. We maxed our credit cards. Had to short sale my office building at one point. I owned that building, and the building next door, my husband and I, ended up short selling it. So just so we could stay in there and pay the rent, which we did. And all the time still pretending like everything's fine. You know, I did short sales, which nobody wanted to do, which amazed me because I had people come to me and say, my title company doesn't do short sales. And I'm like, what closings are they doing? Because I only have like 2 or 3 closings a month that aren't short sales. So I did that, and I became really good at it. I had the time. So I would just be the person that I couldn't negotiate it, obviously, but I did all the paperwork. I'm the one that followed up with the lender. I got the paperwork gathered. I submitted it, resubmitted it, talked to the lender, begged the lender, did all the things. But I would charge like, you know, $1,500, $2,000 a closing fee for that. Most of the times the lender would pay it. Sometimes they'd decrease it to $750. Well, I only got $750 on that one. You know what I mean? But we still got to close. And then I got the title insurance premium, which is, you know, a percentage of that we get to keep. So that's how I made it through. And then honestly, I joined a B&I group during that time. Yeah. Thankfully for our friend Stacy, started that group. There was a great realtor in there, and we just started to pull out of the recession or that period of time, and they had a lot of closings, and they sent them to me, and then things just started to build again from there, and I was able to start hiring. But for a long time, I didn't hire anybody. I just worked like
just grinded.
A dog. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, 16, 17 hours a day, you know, just go do it, go to sleep, get up, do it again, which was hard because I got a family, but it was the only way we could save it. You know what I mean? And that's where our income came from. And I couldn't go work anywhere else because I only know how to do one thing, really. So where am I going to go? Nobody has any business. So I just thought, well, this is my best option is me. So that's what we did.
I love it. And you guys did it. I mean,
we did.
And now looking back, I mean, you got to be super proud of that.
I am very proud of it. And thank you, because I don't really, like most business people, I don't talk about it that often because, first of all, you don't want to tell your failures or your crises or what happened to you but also it's hard to pat yourself on the back and be proud of yourself for the things that you did.
You should be very proud.
When
of
I said it like that, I almost got a little teary. Damn, that was a lot, man. And it was even worse than that. That was just, But
it's a great story to tell too, and it shows so much resilience and not giving up. And I wanted to touch on like how important were those relationships building to your.
Yes, those were our lifeline, and I had great relationships, and I still have those relationships. So that was the lifeline of the business. If I hadn't had those, I wouldn't have had any closings. So I had to, even that time, keep building relationships with people. Try not to spend any money, try not to do any real marketing if I could help it. Every now and then be like, okay, I got $500 on this credit card to do whatever, and do something like that. And, I'm not proud I had to do that, but that's what it took. And then we do small things, and then fortunately just, things started to grow again. And then I was able to, hire people to come in, and then was able to bring some closers on and, things like that.
You're like,
thank God for this, right? Because I didn't know how much longer I could do it, by myself. Unfortunately, my husband wasn't working in the business at that time. So he had his own business, but it was also a dock building business. So it wasn't making any money either at that time because who was building docks? But we did get lucky that some people, like when they got laid off at the Cape during that period of time, they had some money and so they weren't buying any houses, but they were improving their houses. So we did have some jobs that way with the dock building. And so, but it was hard because we were both making a ton of money and then we were both making very limited amount of money.
Yeah.
And
So he stopped what he
it
was
was almost
doing.
overnight.
Yeah.
overnight. Listen, we were on a trip in 2005 in December. It started here earlier because of the Space Center and all that stuff. Yeah. So 2005, we went on a great trip. African Safari had a great trip. When our last trip, we thought we'd have a big trip with our daughter before she got too old to want to do stuff with us. And we came back in the beginning of 2006. And by the second quarter, I was like, oh man, because you always think it's going to come. I'd never had that happen before. So I was like, oh, it's going to come back. It's no big deal. We're just a little slower. No. We went from like 200 closings a month to 5.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa.
I need help.
I need help.
All hands on deck.
All hands on deck. And what were we going to do?
Yeah. So he stopped his business.
Yeah,
and
that was later though. When we got busy
gotcha.
again, I hired some other people and things were going good. And I said, hey, I need to hire someone else. And dock building is a difficult trade. The people that work with you and for you are difficult. They don't, they don't have the kind of lives we have. Put it that way. It's they're unfortunately they're just. It's hard for them, and they have just hard lives. And
it's a super demanding physical job.
Super demanding and physical. So you got a lot of pill use and drug things like that. And we just found they were doing things that we were like, whoa, we can't be responsible for these people in other people's yards. People have money.
Yeah, representation is everything.
Yeah,
sure.
well, we were scared of, I hate to say it, what they might do because they were, we find that there was drug paraphernalia and things in our vans and, they're driving our vans around. Yeah. What if they kill someone? We're the only ones that own anything. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was every day a stress like that. So we just said, I think I need someone in a position that I could teach him easily, wasn't a closing position or anything. It was, more of an admin position. And I was like, you could do this. And he said, you know what? I think that's what we're going to do. So we sold all the equipment because he was the business. So there wasn't any reason to sell it. So we sold all the equipment. We did a little seawall in our backyard along our pond. And then we sold it, sold all the stuff. And he came and worked with me probably for about, I don't even remember what year that was, but probably about 5 years. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And now he's pretty much retired.
Yeah, no, I saw him shout out to Troy, right?
Shout out to Troy.
That's right. He did what was needed.
We love Troy.
Yeah,
I know. I see him popping in on the BNI and I'm like, oh, here we go. This is going to be fun.
Sometimes he would sub for me and you never know what you're going to get that day.
Yeah.
Now he gets the joy of taking our grandkids to school pretty much every day.
Yeah,
so he does that. He couriers for the offices.
He probably loves
fixes
that
stuff.
too.
He does. He's building now that they're a little older. You know how it is. Guys are like, what do I do with a 2-year-old? But now that they're 4 and 7, he's
he's having a good time.
Oh, he's having a great time.
Yeah.
You can tell when he talks about his grandkids and even on Facebook, like he just looks so happy when he's around them.
He's living his best life,
That's
and they
awesome.
are hysterical, and they learn. He gets to teach them a lot of stuff, and he really likes that.
Yeah,
so he's
cool.
having a really good time with that. And
it's probably nice for Brittany having you guys close, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because they moved. They moved away and they moved back up here once they had a baby because they were like, wait a minute, our whole family is in basically Brevard County.
You guys are hanging out all the time now.
All the time, yeah. So we have a really good that's the only reason I can see us ever moving from this area is if they moved.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason for us to move because this is where we are.
So you would consider
only if she left. Only if she took the grandkids with her. Yeah. Now, if they were high school, college, teenagers, whatever, probably not.
Yeah.
But at this age, this is the only time we're going to get with them. These are the only 2 grandkids I'm ever going to have. Yeah. You know what I mean? So this is it.
It's an important relationship.
Very
for sure.
important.
So I owe you a thank you, by the way.
Oh, for what?
So, your daughter worked for us in the very beginning of this.
Yeah.
She was one of our first employees and really helped us grow this business early on. And you really helped her with her marketing and all that and introduced her to all those contacts.
Yep.
But in that, I'm very thankful for Brittany and what she did for us. I mean, she really helped put us on the map early on.
Yep.
And that was kind of through you and through your relationships. So our success, our early success really, you had a lot to do with that. And I'm always grateful for that. And because you guys really helped us.
Awesome. Thank you.
Maybe not directly, but indirectly, you were introducing us to a lot of people.
Yeah, because I'm her mom, so she's like, "Hey, who are your realtors?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Hey, this is my kid. You guys got to help her out."
Everyone in the market.
That's pretty awesome.
And you were dragging us around marketing and stuff, and so that was. I've always been thankful for that.
Oh, thank you.
You were a big part of our success
Thank
early
you.
on, and I really do appreciate that.
Yeah, she loved her job here. She really did. She just wanted to be in the big city at that time. So she
Well, she
needed to
did,
go
you
down
know,
south.
she had real big ambitions and
Yep.
wanted to see the world a little bit
Yep.
more and
Yep.
wanted to experience things outside of Brevard, and I get that.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep. And she's thankful for her time here because she's still in insurance.
Yeah.
She just happens to work for an insurance
no, and I
carrier
love that. I
instead
get
of-
to see her.
Yeah.
I love watching her from afar and her success and
Yeah.
She's with
everything.
the Olympus, right?
Nope, now she's with Mangrove.
Oh, yeah,
it's a
Mangrove. I'm
yeah,
sorry,
so
yeah.
that's okay.
Yep.
She left Olympus and went to Mangrove, and they're still in the formative stages. So
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll be seeing her. Because
Yeah.
they're going to
Yeah.
be bringing on agents,
I've
but
talked
I
to her
think
a
they're
couple
working
times.
towards that.
Oh, yeah.
And I get to see her at like the FAIA and
Yeah.
all the insurance
Yep.
industry events and stuff. And I'm just super proud of her.
I'm proud of
I'm
her,
really glad to see what she's doing. And it
much
seems
fun.
like she's got an awesome career going and
She
is
does.
super happy.
Yeah.
So
She is very happy, and she's like, I got title insurance. She gets insurance, and like you guys, it makes sense. She's like, totally get it. This is what's wrong with people.
and I'm
can't figure
super
this
proud
out.
too because I'm like,
You
I
helped
get
her
to
and you
I get to
taught
tell
her.
people like, hey, I taught her everything.
That's
she
right,
knows.
and you did. Well, and you did because she didn't know anything about insurance when she came here. She had a marketing and public relations degree, I think. So she had that going for her, but so she didn't have any problem talking to people in marketing. But she had no knowledge of homeowners or any kind of insurance. So you did teach her that, and that was awesome. She
And now
really
she's
liked it.
probably teaching us stuff when we have to call her with our difficult
Probably.
files and stuff.
Probably.
So
I'm proud of her. I've been watching her, grow in it, and sometimes I hear some of parts of her meetings if I'm at her house because she works from home.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, they're pretty smart. Pretty smart kid.
you're like, I made that.
I know, I made that. I did good.
That's awesome.
Sure.
One company wasn't enough,
Yeah. I know, right?
so you had
I
to.
did lose my mind.
So you had to.
Right?
What's that like? How does that work, and how do you juggle that? And
Yeah.
do you feel like you're competing with each other sometimes, or do you guys have you kind of created more of a blend? You know what I mean?
Yeah, more of a blend now. Originally, it was a company to be a preferred closing company for a real estate
Gotcha.
company. So
Okay.
it was separate because it had to be. And then that unfortunately didn't work out. But I still had the company, and we spent like a year or two marketing it, and it was a cool marketing thing, with the pineapple and the whole
You
thing.
guys did really good marketing on it.
Exactly. And we put a lot of money and effort and time into that. So I thought, well, I'll just keep both brands. And at first we kept them pretty separate, but then we realized, we can't, it's too hard to have enough people to handle all that. So behind the scenes, we started bringing it all together slowly. And then, I don't know how long it's been now, but a few years ago, we came out with like a meshed logo and put it together, put it in all our emails, all of our web, everything's meshed together now. So it's like a pineapple and a globe together. That's where that came from. One of my, Cody in my office actually drew that. And so we, finited it, with marketing people and made it. So that's why it's kind of interesting logo. But if you know the two companies, then it makes sense.
Yep.
We're working on there's new things to come, hopefully this year, maybe the early part of next year with that. But right now they are technically two separate title agencies, but all of us work underneath it. And I think everybody's finally gotten that by the way we, do our business, and all the behind the scenes is, everybody's the same people.
Yeah. No. Great. That's awesome.
Yep.
Can I ask where the pineapple came from?
Actually, it was from the person that we were working with. That was her idea. So we ended up using that. It's kind of like welcome. And you can just do it. There's so many pineapple decorations and things and fun things, So
For marketing. And,
for marketing, it was easy. I mean, I did Globe because it's international title. There's not as much stuff, you know what I mean? So pineapple, we were like this. Considered moving it all under that, and then I thought, no, I spent a long time building also the international title brand, and that was my baby. So we just decided to leave it as it was, and then bring it together eventually.
Very nice.
Yep.
So 250 years of combined experience.
That's right.
With you guys.
Is that amazing?
That is
crazy.
unbelievable.
It's insanity. But so I have 38 years of experience. Leanne Schufelt, who used to be at Fidelity, everybody knows Leanne.
She's
And
a legend.
this is what we say. Why did we not get together sooner?
Aw.
Why? Because we would have been, it just would have been so great. But I didn't know. She always worked for a corporate, big corporate. And I just figured well, I shouldn't say that. Prior to that, she worked for some local title companies, but there was only a couple of them. And she worked at, I think, both of them. And then she went to Fidelity, and she was there so long. I was like, well, she's not going to want to work for a little title company. She's got big things going on over there. And that didn't end up working out. When she went to retire, unfortunately, she wasn't treated that great at the end. Gotcha. And so I thought, when I heard that, I was like, "Ooh, I'm calling her."
Snagging
so
her.
I snagged her up, and it's been awesome. But she has 45 or 46 years of experience because she started at like 18, just like I did.
Okay.
And then Rose, I want to say, has like 30-something years. And then we just, continue down with everybody in our office. Laura has been with me 11 or 12 years. I can't. Now they're gonna kill me because I can't remember everybody's stuff. But anyway, she's been with me a long time, but was in title before that.
Yeah.
So all just combined, I was like, I need to start saying this. So we have a lot of experience. So we really are title experts. This is what we do. It's all I've ever done. It's all Leanne's ever done. It's what we do.
Yeah.
This is what we know.
Oh, that's amazing. That's super powerful too, marketing wise.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're using it for this year for the 250-year anniversary of America birthday and us.
Do you find that
because we're right there?
Do you find that with all that experience, like there's at least one of you that have seen something that like, are you ever surprised? Do you still get surprised as long as you guys have been in the business? You know what I mean? Is there everything? It's something where you're like, I've never seen that before.
Yeah. Are you learning still?
Yes, we are still learning, believe it or not. Yes, because it would be boring if you didn't learn.
Oh, of course.
So we find stuff that is similar and that you can apply certain things you've learned to. But here's one recently. I won't use any names. This is one of Leanne's closings. The seller was in a foreclosure situation. That was, and they ended up working that out and getting it fixed. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail because that's not very exciting. But what happened is the attorney for the plaintiff, the people that were foreclosing, we get ready to close and I think we did an update and a title update, and they had filed another lis pendens, which is a foreclosure action. And we're like, what the heck are you doing? So it should be just as easy as calling up the attorney and saying, hey, this was already taken care of. How come you're still got this? What are you doing? He won't talk to us. He won't tell, anyway. Yeah. So what ended up happening was he will not remove it. The client will not remove it. The poor sellers had to go to court before the judge. I don't understand why, because we weren't part of that. It still didn't get removed. They're not in foreclosure anymore. Like, they don't owe the money, but they couldn't get it removed. So it's an ongoing court case for them. So we ended up not being able to close. And that was something that none of us had ever seen before, even our underwriters. Whoa. We could not figure out, like, how can they do this?
And you don't know why.
No. Wow. I don't know why, sorry. I don't know why the judge won't just dismiss it, because that's all it takes. Yeah. There must be more to it that we're unaware of, but it's not public record, so we don't know. We can see the cases filed, but we can't see what all the things are. So I don't know why, but it wasn't done like we thought it was going to be.
Oh, wow.
And so, and the lady, I think she represented herself. She probably should have hired an attorney, and maybe it would have went better.
There you go. Yeah.
Hate to say that, but she thought it would be easy. Like, I'm not in foreclosure. I don't have any past due things. They already dismissed the foreclosure previously. Let's move forward. Yeah. And that did not happen. Mm-hmm. So that fell apart. So hopefully she'll get it fixed and they'll sell it again. But that was something we'd never seen. It was really weird.
Yeah. I feel like title is just so complex. Like, my mom's been doing title for over 30 years, and she she fills me in with certain situations. I'm like, I still don't understand. Yeah. There's so much.
It's a lot. Yeah. This is how I explain to people. It tells a story. What happened with the title? Like, Steve and his wife own a property. Steve deeds out the property. I hate to use you as an example in this, but anyway, you deed out the property by yourself. Yeah. What happened to Diana? Yeah. Well, then we need to say that story. So is Diana, did you get divorced? We need a divorce decree. Did somebody die? We need to do a death certificate. Were you guys married up until she died? All these things. So we got to tell the story of, like, who did what and what happened. Mm-hmm. And then when you pay something off, there has to be a release to show that mortgage no longer exists. So it's really just a lot of legal documents and paperwork, but it does tell a story, like, especially like people who don't understand, they're selling something and we're trying to get something fixed from 3 sellers ago. Yes. And they're like, well, why is that? And I'm like, well, because you filed 3 quitclaim deeds since then and no closings were done. Yeah, but the county recorded them. Well, the county records it if it's in the right form, witnessed, notarized, legal description, they record it. Yeah. Appears to be the right owner. They don't do title, so they don't know that, well, again, what happened? Mrs. Smith's deeding out. Where'd Mr. Smith go? Mm-hmm. So now we have to go back and prove, even though Mr. and Mrs. Miller are now selling, what happened to, Mr. Smith. So that's a great way to,
that's a great way of saying, like,
tells the story. What happened to the property? What happened to everybody involved in the property?
And I'm sure you guys enjoy the investigation about it all.
We do. We actually do. So that's how we feel. I'm like, we're detectives. It's all going to be good. Yeah. And that's a fun thing to teach people. They either like it or they don't. Yeah. You know what I mean? But when I can figure out a way to make it work, because underwriters are black and white, so they want it to be perfect. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We have to be a little gray. Like, okay, I can't find someone from 25 years ago to sign a new quitclaim deed. Yeah, because they didn't do that. Yeah. That's not realistic, but that's what my underwriter wants me to do. Yeah. You know how that is. Sorry. That's what they want. So I'm like, okay, but what we have to do with our experience is go, okay, we can't do that, but what if we did this and come up with another solution? that we could do. And so insurance is a risk, as you know. So are they willing to take the risk? And that's what you have to convince the underwriter of, because ultimately it's their policy.
Yeah.
And I can only issue that policy if they agree with what we're doing.
And how often?
All the time.
All the time?
Sorry, I don't know what's with my throat.
Yeah. And the
This
fear,
might-
and
this
the
might
fear
cut my
is
granddaughter
like
gave
somebody could come back from 25 years ago going, I own this property.
Yeah.
And that is the fear.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So we have to like show that, okay, well, look, they did that. Maybe we can find that they were dead. We research obituaries, we research public records for death certificates,
Yeah.
you know, all kinds of things. Thankfully, with Google, you can search anybody. They know everything.
Ugh, that's
I know
scary.
it's bad, but it's good for us because we can find people. Back in the day, we couldn't find anybody.
Yeah.
So it was, it was more difficult.
Yeah.
But properties didn't sell as often.
Yeah.
So there weren't as many issues. Now people are selling property every couple of years. So there's a potential for issues because we're trying, just like every title company, we're trying to close without any problems. Our goal, that's what makes us a non-interested third party.
Yeah.
Yes, I want everybody to close. Yes, I want everybody to be happy. Yes, I want my clients to be happy, buyer and seller happy. Ultimately, we're issuing a title policy.
Correct.
Just like you guys. We're issuing an insurance policy. For you, you guys expect there to be claims.
Yeah.
That's how homeowners insurance works or car insurance works. Title, they don't want to have any claims. The goal, and there are still claims, but the goal
I don't
is,
think we want any claims either.
I know you don't want them. Yeah, nobody wants them, but you know the reality
yeah,
is
the reality.
houses have floods, they burn, they whatever.
Yeah.
Title, we're supposed to be able to fix all that so that
Right.
there
It
isn't
needs
a
to be
claim.
clean.
Needs to be clean.
Yeah.
So that's what we do, but there are mistakes. We cover things that aren't even our mistakes, like
Yeah,
forgery.
that's what I'm saying. You guys recover like a lot
of stuff.
fix a lot of stuff.
Yeah, people don't realize. Like we cover forgery. Okay, well, I don't know if documents are forged.
Yeah.
I don't know if my documents are forged. I don't know what everybody else did. You know, those forgeries and like if the clerk misposts something to the wrong legal description, we don't find it. If there's a mortgage, that's a claim. You know, so those are the kind of things that.
Is there something with property lines too? Like,
Yeah.
So is that why you guys need surveys? Because are you insuring up to the property line? And so
Yep.
if there's like an encumbrance onto the property line or
Yeah.
an encroachment onto the property line, is that hold things up too? Or how does that work?
Yeah, so surveys are really
a great
important.
question.
Yeah, that is a good question. So surveys are important because if you pay cash, you don't have to get a survey. It's your liability. But like you said, then the title policy is not going to insure you.
Got you.
So the title policy ensures we've reviewed the survey. We don't see any problems that are going to cause you a loss. Actually, aren't going to cause us a loss. Because what's going to happen is if the buyer has a loss, we have a loss.
Yeah.
So we do. We check the legal description. We make sure that there aren't any easements that are encroached upon. You know, fences, concrete, sheds. You know, things like non-permanent things can be encroaching.
Yeah.
But we still have to say it and make a note of it, and we let the buyers know, and they have to sign off that they saw that. But it can't be like. Usually a pool, the water of a pool can't encroach into an easement because if you have to fill that pool in, that's going to be a huge devaluation of the property. Gotcha. That's what it comes down to. So then you got to make sure, is that easement, which I'm working on right now, is that easement vacated because there's a pool sitting in it? And as far as I know, it's been sitting there since 1993.
Gotcha.
But it's in an easement. So hopefully it's been vacated, which the county can do. And basically they say they're not using that portion of the easement anymore. But
And
if
that's
they
somewhere
are,
in the records or somewhere. Yeah.
you hope.
Yeah.
Or you hope someone has that paperwork or you can find that paperwork in the county. If not, we may not be able to either not insure it because they are getting a loan, or we have to get the lender to accept a insurance without covering that,
Gotcha.
which a lot of times they won't because that's a devaluation of their value of their property. A pool could be now $100,000.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Have you ever had a situation where you you had somebody that was like, yeah, I'll move my fence?
Yeah. Yes. People. Yeah. Supposed to be the fence. Okay. Well, that didn't change your property line.
Yeah.
But if they're encroaching onto somebody's property and they say, "I'll move it onto my property," that's
Right,
fine.
yeah.
But we tell the buyer, we make them sign off on it. Look, because I don't know who owns that fence. It's there, and
true.
the property lines are shared.
Yeah.
So it's.
It
I
could
don't know
be
who's-
right on the line.
Yeah.
with
So I
both
just
of them and-
I just tell people make friends with your neighbors. If you have
Yeah.
to put a new fence up, you can do it together.
Oh,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
for sure.
Yeah.
So
It's
that kind of
the
thing.
house.
But there are people who are very persnickety about it and they don't want anything on their property, which I get because in the grand scheme of things, there are situations where somebody could claim the rights to that property
Yeah.
because they've been taking care of it.
Yeah.
It's not normal. It's
Yeah.
rare, but
It can happen.
it can happen. It doesn't happen very often, but it can happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, surveys are part of what we do. If we don't have one, we can't. That's why when I say lenders say I don't need a survey, okay, but do you need the title insurance coverage for it? Because if you do, then you do need a survey because you're asking us for something we can't give without the survey.
Yeah. Are there documents that you recommend that like homeowners hold on to? Because I know me, like I have a filing cabinet of like freaking houses I owned 20 years ago, and I'm like, why do I still have
Why
this
do I
crap?
have this? Well, I would say yes. So the only thing that you really probably need to keep, because we're required to keep everything for 7 years. So I would say you should at least keep it for that, maybe 10 because of IRS. But I would say always keep your title policy.
Yeah.
Because if we don't have it anymore, the underwriters still exist, but then you got to find them.
Yeah, I know when I refinance in the past, you guys would ask for like owner title or something like that. So there is.
You get a discount.
Gotcha. Okay.
But you have to pay for it. If you lost you have to pay for your policy and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. So when you refinance, you provide the policy because you get what's called a reissue credit, which is a discount. If you can't find your policy, then you don't get the discount. So you have to pay the full rate for that. And if you don't have it and you want to get another owner's policy, you can get one when you refinance, but you got to pay for it. But it's a simultaneous rate, so it's a little cheaper.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say save your title policy, save your closing statement just in case, and maybe anything unless you've checked and made sure a satisfaction of mortgage has been recorded for all your mortgages.
You get it in the mail after you pay off the mortgage.
Make sure.
I was wondering if
because people get it in the mail, they don't realize they're supposed to record it. So what happens is it doesn't get recorded.
Yeah.
Then people like me are like, hey, what about that mortgage that you paid off 5 years ago?
Yeah.
You know. So if you have a loan number,
Yeah.
you know, something, then we can research it and go back to who the lender was and try to get it. We have other methods too, but that's the first one we try to get is what information.
Yeah, if
do
the
you
lender's
have?
still in business, then they should have that record somewhere.
They should if we can give them the information from the
Correct.
loan because they won't be able to find it.
Yeah.
So that's.
But I can see how you get tricky when you're 7, 8, 10 years down the road
Yeah.
and you're trying to hunt this information down, and it might be a lender that doesn't even exist anymore, or it could be, there's all kinds of things that can happen.
Yeah. And it happens, or they got bought out, or they, whatever.
It's like a carrier
And that's-
going
yeah.
into receiver.
Like you said, that's where your underwriters are like, God, you guys are killing me.
I know. You're killing me. We're like, please, please, please. So the good news is they will rely on some affidavits and things like that because the reality is if there's no foreclosure filed,
Right.
Yeah.
does the mortgage exist?
Yeah.
There's statute, like if the mortgage should have paid out in 30 years, after 5 more years, it's out by statute, so you don't have to worry about it anymore. So there's things like that.
You don't have to talk about it, but if you want to, you had mentioned in like the guest prep stuff that we were doing, you had a story about some fraud that you guys experienced and how it kind of changed the way you guys do business forever.
Yes, it absolutely did. So I don't like to admit it, but I wasn't the only title. I won't mention any other names, but I was one of 3 title companies that got scammed by these same people.
Gotcha.
So it was like a $220,000 lot in Lake Washington, I think, Melbourne. And the people, signed a contract, went to sell it, all the things. We did the normal thing. It's been a few years. So we did the normal things we do. Usually we'll send a mobile notary. But this guy was like, hey, I'm going to be in Miami. My wife's going to be with me. I'm going to be at a conference in a hotel. I can get it notarized. And we were like, okay, which was completely normal then. So we let him do it. Come to find out, he's fake, his wife's fake, the notary's fake, everybody's fake. Everybody's fake. So it was not real. And several months after we closed, maybe a year, the people who bought it were trying to get permitting and stuff. And somehow then the real owners were notified that, hey, somebody's on your lot doing stuff. And then they contacted the police and everybody, and then they called me. And I'm just going to tell you, you do not want to get a phone call from a buyer that says, hey, I've had to call the police because these people are saying they're the rightful owners of this property that I bought that you closed. And you're like, oh boy. So then you have to go through all the rigmarole and they have to make a title claim. And, just like a regular homeowner's insurance claim, it's not like, oh, here's a check. You know what I mean? They got to go through a process. They got to prove that they're not part of the fraud first. And the owner, the real owner, has to actually file a case saying, I want my property back. These owners did not do that for a super long time. And the underwriter's like, well, if they're not going to file it and want their property back, then how do we pay a claim? Is everybody in cahoot? What's going on here? Finally it all happened, but it took a long time. But we make them whole so they can either repay the true owner and they keep their property, or in this case, they had to deed the property back to the true owner and they got their money back. But it took a while and it didn't pay them back for, it paid to the value of the property, the policy, which was the full amount of the purchase price, but it didn't pay for like their plans or their architecture, all the things that they spent money on. And, I feel horrible about that. But in the end, unfortunately, because we have to be in a court case, we're all adversarial, and so way I feel about it is terrible. I don't feel we did anything wrong at that time. It was normal procedure, but did I change everything about what we do? Yes.
Yeah.
because I'm not going to let that happen again.
Yeah.
I don't want that call. I don't want to do that to somebody. I don't want that to happen to someone.
Yeah.
So it was awful for us. So I can't even imagine what it was like for them. Well, I know because I was involved in the court case for a couple of years, but it was not pleasant and it wasn't fun for any of us. So we now we hire their notaries. We don't ever let anybody use our own notary anymore. And usually we pay for one. So like if I got two sellers and they're in two different places, I'll pay for one. You got to pay for the other one.
Yeah.
And sometimes they fight back and buyers we usually make pay for it because it's a loan package. It's a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
So they fight back sometimes. They don't want to pay for it. And then, I'm like, hey, I'm sorry. I can't, we have to do this.
This is protecting
This
you.
is protecting you and it's protecting everybody involved in the transaction. So, and our program, which some people love, some people hate, it checks ID.
Yeah.
So you put your ID in, it runs it through like TSA security. It's very expensive. Trust me, it cost me like $100,000 a year. I'd much rather make that money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with not that just that program, but the program and the other IT stuff that we have, it's about $10,000 a month.
Yeah.
So, I do it because it's necessary, but I'd surely like to keep that money in my pocket. So I'm not doing it because I'm crazy. I'm doing it because I don't want that to happen again.
Yeah.
So it checks ID. It verifies bank accounts against the ID. We get reports of like, this is a risk. This cell phone number doesn't seem to match. This address doesn't match. And like, we can override it, but it gives us a detailed report of the people. Facial identity recognition. It uses software for that.
Wow.
So it's a very robust program. And that's why we use it, because I cannot have that happen again.
Yeah.
So, because your underwriter looks at you and says, how's this not going to happen again?
Yeah.
And I don't know how many of you guys write for as agents of insurance companies, but it's more than 3.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it. It's difficult to get approved with an underwriter for title insurance, and you don't have enough business to have 100 underwriters. Because you have to promise them so much dollar amount of business. So 2 or 3 is really all we can support,
Gotcha.
And I'm sure there's huge title companies that probably have more than that, but as an agent, for 3 underwriters for a 3-office company is plenty.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you don't want to be canceled. You know what I mean? Because you will really have a hard time getting it. And all my insurance went up because of it. Everything.
Yeah,
same thing.
Everything happens. So
Yeah.
we had to make sure that that's not going to happen again.
Yeah.
And so I have to report that I'm almost done reporting it. So it's been less than 5 years because I have to report it all my insurances.
Yeah.
In the last 5 years, did this happen? And I have to explain it every time. And what did you do to change that? How is it not going to happen again?
I mean, we have the same,
I love that.
scenario too, but with customers all the time, they get mad at us for asking them certain situations.
Yep.
I mean, like what questions, personal stuff. But in the end, when we do our underwriting in the front end of it, it's going to save so much in the back.
That's right.
And, it's going to save you from being harassed by an underwriter as
That's
well.
right.
And then it protects us as well for you,
Yeah.
Yeah, because then if the underwriter's bugging them, well, our underwriter doesn't contact people like yours does. Ours only talks to us. But yours do. And then people are like, well, why didn't you do that, Angela? How come you didn't get the inspection? Why didn't you make me do this? And, well, I'm trying to do it, but you don't want to let me. Yeah. So the general public, and so it's our job to educate that.
I would think most people appreciate it because
You would think.
especially
you would
nowadays,
think.
like fraud is so rampant.
Yeah.
That you got to protect all the time,
have
right?
to.
And I love that you're doing that. And I know, and honestly, I'm sorry you even have to. I mean, it's
too.
ridiculous that
It
you
is
got to spend
ridiculous.
that kind of money to protect your business.
is.
But
Yep.
but I also think it shows how much you guys care about getting it right and
Yep.
making sure the people that come through your agency are protected.
That's right. Yeah. Because
I mean,
and it's my whole livelihood, and I'm responsible for
Correct.
9 other people's livelihoods.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't just go, oh well, if we don't, if we lose somebody's money, get another claim, we don't have any underwriters anymore, we don't have a business.
and it's scary because
Yeah.
it only takes one bad actor to
That's
freaking
right.
ruin it.
One. That's
One,
right.
you know?
And so what is that saying? Like, they only have to have a good offense one time. We have to have a good defense all the time.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
Just like football. They know their play. You got to defend it every single time.
Yeah.
So that's that's what happens. So anyway, it's expensive and people do complain. So I have to remind them, listen, I know you have a portal for your bank.
Yeah.
I know you have a portal for your doctor's office.
Yeah.
I know you have a portal for your credit cards. I know you have because we do. I do.
Yeah.
And I have to have a password and a portal for every single lender's portal.
I think the ones that are actually
yeah.
I think the ones that are actually having a hard time with it, it's never happened to them.
Right.
That's the
Never
ones that are,
happened to them.
and that's why as professionals have to explain to them, like, there's a reason why this is implemented.
That's right.
Because it says happened and it's a complete nightmare and we don't want it to happen
to you.
The whole transparency
Yeah,
of it.
we have it in our email signatures, but I don't think they look at it. Like there's a video they can watch about it. It tells them why we're doing it. We have all your information.
nice,
We
yeah.
want to do all these things.
Very
and
nice.
Sometimes they read it, sometimes they don't. They're like, I don't like to have to do the multi-factor. And I'm like,
God.
okay.
Read
Do you know how many times
it.
I multi-factor stuff every single day? Like every single day, you know? So
I just had one today, and I was kind of like, "What the heck is this?"
yeah, and that's
I can't do a thumbprint.
no, I don't have a thumbprint. I got a number. I need a number.
You're involved in a lot of educational seminars.
Yep.
How has that helped your business? And have you been enjoyed doing it? Or
I like to do it. So I would like to transition more into that probably in the future. I just had to find somebody to take my place, which is difficult. But to do closings, hard to bring somebody in and have your clients trust somebody else to do what you've been doing for years. But I like education. I do a lot of fraud seminars. I do some continuing ed seminars. I could do 3 different ones for realtors for continuing ed. I got approved to do those with my underwriter. So 3 different ones for that. So we try to help, we try to get, we're not allowed to just pay for certain things, even though some places do.
Yeah.
There's things that we're not allowed to just pay for or do, but what I can do is give of my time. You know what I mean? So I can come bring breakfast to a real estate office, do an educational seminar. I'm allowed to do that.
yeah,
I can't pay for your marketing. Some instances, but you know how it is. There's certain regulations,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
there's a lot of regulations on that. There's no regulations on how much time I want to give you or what added value I want to give the broker or their agents to help them with their agents. So I like to do. I do CD classes for new agents or anybody, title commitment classes, shorter ones. They're just like a half hour long. So I can, anything title related, we can give
gotcha.
a seminar on. And then I'm in a BNI group, so I have other people that do other stuff that can do, like you guys could come in and do a seminar for insurance, with realtors and that kind of thing. So I partner a lot with people to do that kind of stuff.
Awesome. So if there's like a brokerage out there that's like looking for ways to kind of fill their meetings or fill their space with education, they can reach out to you.
I'm your girl.
Oh,
That's
awesome.
right. Yep, I'll be there. I can
Very
do half hour. I can do 2 hours because the classes are 2 hour CE courses. But
Gotcha.
I have half hour ones that are just quick and easy.
I think that's a huge value add too for the
Me too.
brokerages. And yeah,
I think, and I do a lot of them. Yeah.
that's awesome. So you've helped people through first homes, divorces,
Yep.
probably estate sales. I mean, all kinds of stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
What is your when you leave the office on certain days, are there days where you're just like so proud of how you helped somebody that day? Like, what is your favorite person to help? You know what I mean? Like, where gives you the most joy?
I think first-time home buyers are always pretty special because they could be 20 or they could be 70 or 80. It doesn't make a difference. And they're a lot of fun because they're excited, And some people, they bought and sold, mini houses. So while they're still excited to buy something, it's not the same.
Yeah.
So, and especially like someone who thought they would never get to. Like they've been renting and they think they can't get a mortgage, they can't do these things, and then they do, and they're like, I did it, and they're so proud of themselves.
I love that.
So it makes me happy and proud to be able to help that. The other thing that makes me proud, but is harder to explain, is when we fix a really tough title problem. Like we're like, listen, you guys would not have closed without us.
Yeah.
But they don't understand it, so I can't really explain
That's a
it. But
big deal.
we get to at the office, high five each other, like, dang, look what we did. We got this to closing. Look at us. That's hard.
Those are the
because
best.
Those are the best, but it's only we can only celebrate that together, which is nice.
Yeah.
But the outward celebration is probably first time home buyers or like somebody, a single mom maybe after a divorce and she's or dad and thinking they can't ever get a house on their own, that kind of thing. So that's fun.
Cool.
It's
And
really
you probably get a lot of repeat customers too. Like they buy the house and then they refi later, or they buy another house and they're like, I want to use Donna.
Yeah, and I love that. And I think people forget, like we are not realtors, but we are still commission based and referral based. So when you go down the street to a different title company, I'm just going to say it out loud. It's like when they go to a different insurance company, that took money right out of my pocket, right out of my family's pocket, right out of my employees' pockets. So it does make a difference. That's what we're all working for, is repeat referral business.
So you're involved with Freedom Fighters, Animal Rescues, Child Advocacy, Cocoa Beach Main Street. What motivates that level of community involvement? And talk about that.
I'm a native Florida. I'm a native Brevard County, and so I am very involved in the community. I love my community, and I'm just going to say it. When people see those like Florida man memes, and make fun of Florida people, I'm a native Floridian. That's not us. When you read a little further in the article, it's always they came from somewhere else and they transplanted to Florida. I'm just going to say it. Florida people are hardworking, Southern, good hospitality people, and so I like to be involved in the community because it's my community. So I'm a pet owner and I love pets, so I like to be involved in rescues. We rescued a pet a little doggy one of the rescues had, and I got him, which was awesome. And then we'd go and like usually I do like a vendor booth type things, and you pay your money and you go and give stuff out and you meet people in the community, which is nice. Child advocacy, I did the superheroes walk last year. I didn't walk it, but I did a vendor thing and got to wear a Wonder Woman outfit, which was fun. And I just like being involved. Like Cocoa Beach Main Street is just improving our local community and the main street. It's a national organization that each community can get. And you get like not scholarships, but money, grants for different things that you want to do in your community. So I've been a part of those groups, and that does our like Friday Fest and the part of the Thanksgiving art show, things like that. So I've been involved in that. So I really like doing that kind of stuff. It gets me out there and for my business, but also personally to help out my community. I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
So I know you guys like to travel.
Yes, we love to travel.
I know you said you'll never live anywhere else, but when you do travel, what's your favorite? Like, what do you?
Well, we have a fifth wheel, so we've been doing that over the past few years. So we went to Yellowstone, which was very cool. Ooh. I highly recommend that for anybody that can do it. You don't have to have an RV to do it. You can, fly there, but it's a very cool experience. We go to Michigan pretty much every summer. That's where my husband's from. So we go there, go in lakes and do things like that. But I like to go pretty much anywhere. My favorite trip was Africa. That's still to date. Our next big trip we'd like to do is Australia. Then we just need the market to pick back up some more. But go to Australia and check that out. So we just like to see different cultures and different people and different things, because the world is an awesome place. Yeah. It's just fun. You can't just stay right here. I can live right here, but I don't want to stay right here all the time. Yeah. So I've seen more of Europe and places like that than I have of my own country. So we're going to do some more traveling out. Like I think we're going to do a Grand Canyon trip and, that kind of stuff.
There's so many great places in our country to go.
So many places, yeah.
So like me and Diana discovered this little place called Block Island. It's an island off the coast of Rhode Island.
Okay.
And it is absolutely amazing place.
Really?
Like we've now been there twice. Mm-hmm. We went there first time just together, and then while we were there, we were like, the boys would love this place. So the next year we took the boys.
Nice.
And I can't wait to get back there again.
Really?
I absolutely love it. So look it up. Block Island, Rhode Island. It's an amazing place.
Because we wanted to do also a northeastern trip because we haven't done that. So time is the thing.
Yeah.
Having that time. The good news is my husband's semi-retired, does some stuff for the company still. So he can drive there in the RV a lot of times, and then I can fly. Yeah. So that makes a huge difference because, if you got to drive for 4 or 5 days, that takes your whole vacation. Yeah. You stop, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I'd love to be able to do it with him, but I can't always. So.
So let's talk Brevard County. What your favorite restaurant for you and Troy to go to?
Oh, my goodness. Well, I like my favorite special restaurant to go to is Heidi's. I've always loved Heidi's. When you walk in, when you walk in the jazz club side, it is like walking into a huge restaurant in a huge city, and
is that the German place?
Yeah, and when you go in there, and I like the restaurant, but I like to be on the jazz side because it's a jazz bar and you can eat in there, and the food is great, and it's just like pristine, It's different than it's not a casual place, put it that way. So when I'm doing something really special, that's what I like to do.
The ambiance.
I like the ambiance because you walk off the street, off of Minuteman in Cocoa Beach, and right into that, and you're like, oh,
it is nice.
Just walked into a different world,
Yeah.
And I like Telly's in Vieira or Suntree area, which used to be in Cocoa Beach, Yen Yen's, and Telly's got great food. Telly's. So it used to be Yen Yen's in Cocoa Beach, and now he's in. So I call it like gourmet Chinese.
Okay.
He does take out, but it's like a very good Telys.
Okay,
super sweet guy from China.
All right, we'll have to. Those are two places that I've never been. I definitely am going to check out.
Yep, and I like Alibi, and I like local places in Cocoa Beach too. Alibi, and
we've been to Alibi
and 4th Street, and we got good pizza places. We got a lot of good places. Oh, Coco's in Cocoa Beach is really good.
Okay, the KOK
super good,
Cocoa,
super good,
you
very
went there
fresh.
for your birthday, right?
That place, I think. I think
super
Coco's is the best new restaurant in Brevard County.
Yes,
I need to get there.
And his mom and I went to school together, so I know
that place is fantastic.
It is. It's fresh.
I recommend it to everybody.
Is it good for people that eat simple?
It's like fusion.
Yeah.
So it's
AKA my husband's really picky. I'll just go with my sister.
Go with your sister. Yeah. I'm just gonna say I'm not gonna say it's unusual.
It's so unique,
but so good.
And the flavors just pop.
They do.
You're eating something going, how the heck did they do this?
How did he
with
do
different
it?
flavors. I know. I love that.
And so the fusion is really like just all this stuff together and you're like, that's a lot of stuff
and
in
it
there.
goes together.
And my husband loves it, and he's a person who like separates all his food.
Gotcha.
Oh.
So he eats it and he loved it. So we've been there a few times. So I
No
hope
reservations,
they make it a little
right? I heard they
bigger.
don't.
No, it's a small restaurant,
It's
so
small.
you just got to be kind of lucky to get
Bring
it.
your wallet too.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's worth it.
It is
It's
worth
every
it.
penny.
Yeah. So I like, I'm leaving people out. I know it. So don't be mad at me. But there's we have a lot of good food in this area.
Yeah, we do.
And we've got a lot of good bands and entertainment and bars in Brevard County. So I'm
I
amazed.
need to-
I'm amazed by people that can, how many bands we have for live
I need to
live
get with
music
you
and
on
stuff.
that because my mom likes doing that stuff.
It's we got a lot of good stuff.
All right, so just to wrap us up, we're gonna do some lightning questions.
Oh, boy, okay.
It's like we call it the lightning round.
Okay, no problem.
All right, so coffee or tea,
Coffee.
beach day or pool day?
I love the beach, but I have to say I have a pool, and when I can just go right back into my house and grab my stuff and not have to carry it all down to the beach, I like the pool. But I
have to
do
deal
love.
with the sand
I
here
see
and
the
there.
beach every day because I walk my dogs and see it.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Favorite way to unplug?
Probably either hang out with my grandkids or just like chill in the pool reading a book.
Ooh, okay. One thing buyers should always ask their title company.
Ooh, one thing they should always ask us. Well, they need to know that they have to wire their money, so that's important. That's important. But I guess just making sure, like, they should ask us, what does the title commitment mean? Can you go over this with me and
that's a great
explain it to me?
question.
Yeah.
Nobody, I'm not going to say nobody, rarely do people ask me about it.
Yeah, it's just a process to them.
Yeah, it's a complicated document,
Yeah.
and you need to be sure of what it's doing and what it's not doing, you know?
From this podcast that I have learned so much from you and how important it is to ask that question.
Yeah. What are these things?
Yeah,
What are all this stuff you're doing?
Right. I mean,
What is title insurance?
protecting one of your biggest assets?
That's right.
Yeah. A lesson you wish you learned earlier in your career.
Ooh, not everybody is the same as you. Not everybody has the same work ethic. Not everybody has the same want to. Not everybody has the same ability to, I don't know how to put this. Like, I'm a big picture person. So it's like, does it matter right now? The decision I'm going to make, how is this going to affect me here, not here? And a lot of people don't do that. It's like, right now, I'm going to have a reaction to this right now. And I'm more of a like, let me take a minute here. Let me think about that. And then make a decision on how it's going to affect a whole, whether it's my family or my business or whatever. How is that going to affect as a whole the decision that I make? And might not always be the decision I want to make, but it might be the best one for the future. And so that's a difficult thing. And I think a lot of people don't work that way. And so it's hard to find people that understand that if they don't work that way. Does that make sense?
No, I love that though.
It's
So how do you overcome, like, how do you get over that? I mean, you said like, how does it work? Like now, like,
well,
do you just not care? Like, I mean,
that's the other problem. I really do care.
because I feel like I struggle with that too.
Yeah. I really do care about whatever's happening right now. But like I said, you have to just take a minute because otherwise things are being thrown at you every second of every day. And so you can't care as much about, like, everything can't be at this level.
Correct.
Some things are this level. You know what I mean? So it's up or down.
That's a
So
great
that's the decision you have to make. Like, is this a huge thing? Or, can I just say, hey, we don't need to deal with that right now. Let's deal with that next week. And I probably drive some of my staff crazy because, like, we really need to get this done. I'm like, well, that's really not important to what we're doing. The grand scheme of things. The goal is to close the deals that we need to close right now in the business. And so there are certain things that we can put to the side and then come back to them later. Whether it's a good or bad trait, it works in the business that I'm in. So it is hard because I like I said, I care about things, especially if someone's feeling hurt or there's a bad situation with employees or problems or, they're having a problem with a client, something like that. Usually, and then I step in and I talk to the client so they don't have to because my theory is I don't pay anybody enough to have to deal with being treated like crap. So I take that. But again, in that, I have to take a deep breath and go, okay, how am I going to handle this? How's it going to go? And one of my sayings I think I put in there for you guys was, I can be right or I can make money.
Yeah.
So I don't need to be right. My client can dump all over me if that's what they feel they need to do. Tell me I don't know anything about anything and whatever. But I know that I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I know that I understand the process and I know that they're just stressed out.
Yeah.
So that's why I usually just listen and then I go, okay, I'm really sorry that you're really stressed out about this. I know this is a difficult time in your life.
Yeah.
Let's get to the end of the result of what you're trying to accomplish. And that's kind of how I approach most things. I'm blessed that that's a personality trait, I think. So it's a little easier for me, but it still is hard because I want to react. You know what I mean? And be like, why are you talking to me like that?
Yeah.
But I don't.
I know. I feel like
usually.
I'm the same way too. Like I'm just, I feel like you don't have to be right. And I think that's a great message.
And you don't have to react to everything.
No.
There doesn't have to be a reaction or an answer. Sometimes, I mean,
I tell it to my husband all the time with my daughter. Like,
Yeah.
You don't have to react to all
don't
this
react.
stuff.
Just let her be. Sometimes I'll just sit there if something like, thankfully we don't have it very often, but some people get hot.
They do.
And they'll be saying whatever and I'll just sit there. And then they finish talking and I'm just sitting there.
They need a vent.
And then they're like,
Sorry.
Did you hear me? Yes, I heard everything you said. I'm not sure what you want me to say to that. So this is what we're trying to do, I think.
Yeah.
And I think you said, because I did listen, that you said this, and now let me try to
We're trying
help
to
you
find
with
a
that.
solution.
Yeah, exactly.
Ultimately.
Yeah, I was watching something the other day, and it kind of what you're talking about reminded me of it is, like really successful people have the ability to kind of drown out the noise. There's
Yes.
a lot of noise in
Every
your
day.
day to day, and a lot of things trying to distract you, and a lot of things trying to create confusion in your mind, right? But it's like the most successful people are like 20% noise, 80% focused on what matters right now.
That's a good way to put it.
You know what I mean?
That's exactly a good way to put it, because that's exactly true. You can't let all that
can't
get in
let
all day
the
long every day,
noise-
or you can't get anything done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 So that's something I've been trying to work on too.
Yeah. It's
You know,
hard.
It's
It's a hard trait.
drowning
And-
out the noise.
Yep. Because, everything affects everybody all the time.
Correct. Yeah.
So-
yeah.
I know. Me having the two companies of business, and you sleep well at night, do you?
I'm a good sleeper, thankfully.
Okay.
I didn't used to, but I'm also, and again, just this is how God made me. I'm not a worrier. Like I'm not going to say never, because that's not true. When my business was like 5 closings a month, I was a little worried about things. But I'm okay, this is a problem. I'm either going to make a decision to fix it or move towards fixing it, or I'm not going to worry about it anymore because there's nothing I can do.
Right.
And so, that's kind of what God says. You can, have enough worry for today, leave it that for tomorrow or whatever. So it's not exactly that, but that pretty close to that. And so I'm good at that because I don't let things just eat at me. Now, if I have a situation with my husband and a bad situation at work and something going on over here and like 3 or 4 things at the
need to go
same
cleanse the
time,
beach, girl.
then I find that I do stress. But what I do is I think about it a lot of time on my walks. And I usually do notes in my phone and get out what I really want to say or do.
Yeah, I did the
Get
same.
it all out. Oh, careful. She almost fell over a chair. So what I really want to say, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What I really love to say and what a lot of people do say. And then I read it back and I
then
go,
you delete.
"Whew, that felt pretty darn good." And then I delete it
Yeah.
and then I can deal with it in a different way because everybody gets stressed. But like I said, I'm just not a worrier. So that's a blessing that I have. I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
I'm a doer. I do stuff.
Well, Donna, I think that's
Yeah.
a good place to end it.
Awesome.
We really, really appreciate you taking the time to come
Thanks
in and
for
talk to
having
us
me.
today. You were an awesome guest. We
Thank you.
really appreciate it.
Thank you.
fun.
Good to see you guys.
And
We
it's
should do it
really
more
great
often.
seeing you.
Yeah.
And do me a favor, give Troy and Brittany a big hug from all of us.
Absolutely. And you give
So-
your Diana and your little boys. Oh, they're not
Yeah.
little anymore, are they?
No,
Is there
well,
any little ones left?
Yeah, they're getting older.
How
They're-
old is the youngest one now?
The oldest is going to turn 16 this year, and then we'll have a 14-year-old, and my youngest turns 10 next week.
so he's still
Oh my
kind
God,
of
I'm so
little.
proud of you.
Oh my gosh, that they grow so fast. It's amazing. And your daughter's how old now?
18.
Ooh, she in college or she's still in high school?
She's she's gonna college. We're just waiting on the last bit of
The stuff. Yeah.
what colleges are accepting her and
Yeah.
where she wants to go.
Awesome, awesome.
I'm just waiting for Camden to get his driver's license so he can be the family's
thought you-
Uber driver.
Yeah.
Diana said he was scared of
He is.
driving.
He is a little scared of it. Well, we're getting past that.
Hey, you know what though? That's smart.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be like, I'm not afraid to drive.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
it's a deal. It's a big deal. You should be a little afraid to drive.
Yeah.
But thank
yeah.
you all for having me. I had a great time.
Yeah, it
It was
was
Awesome.
fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Bye. That's a wrap for this episode of the Studio 321 podcast, powered by Brightway, the Steve Trout Agency. We can't thank you enough for being part of our journey. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with a friend. Until next time, 3, 2, 1, we're out.